When WWE was still running traditional pay-per-views, pirates told a real story of success or failure. Some shows drew massive numbers, while others completely tanked, leaving fans disappointed and WWE scrambling to move on. Today we're looking back at the top 10 worst selling WWE pay-per-views of all time. The very first Battleground pay-per-view turned out to be a flop. The show was built around crowning a new WWE champion after the title was vacated, with Daniel Bryan vs Randy Orton set as the main event. But instead of delivering a decisive finish, the match ended in a no contest thanks to the Big Show knocking out both men, and even the referee. Fans were understandably frustrated. The one saving grace of the night was Cody Rhodes and Goldust's emotional battle against the Shield, fighting to keep their jobs. Outside of that, the rest of the card fell flat, and the disappointing booking led Battleground 2013 to drawing just 119,000 buys. Next is WWF In Your House 8, Beware of the Dog, at 110,000 buys. The first In Your House event to make this list came during WWE's era of smaller B-level pay-per-views, outside of the traditional Big Four. Subtitled Beware of Dog, the show was headlined by Shawn Michaels defending the WWE Championship against the British Bulldog, along with a casket match for the Intercontinental title, where Goldust shockingly defeated The Undertaker. The night is also remembered as the final WWE appearance of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, before he left for WCW to become the financial backer of the NWO. Fittingly, his last involvement was managing Stone Cold Steve Austin in a strap match against Savio Vega. In Your House 11, 100,000 buys. This pay-per-view was built around the first ever Buried Alive match, with The Undertaker and Mankind capping off their brutal rivalry in an over-the-top but highly entertaining main event. The dead man buried Mankind once and for all, despite Paul Bearer's attempts to intervene. Elsewhere, the opener between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H was a hidden gem. Strangely, Shawn Michaels defended the WWE Championship against Goldust after the pay-per-view went off air, leaving fans in attendance to see a match that should have been featured on the card itself. When it was finally released in 2017, it proved to be another standout performance in HBK's legendary 1996 run. In Your House 4, The Great White North, barely drew 100,000 buys. It seems fans already knew that this would be a dud, as it ended up with the 8th lowest buy rate in WWE history. Once again, the main event ended in a non-finish, with Diesel retaining his WWE Championship by disqualification against the British Bulldog, his final successful defense in a reign that nearly lasted a whole year. The undercard didn't help. Shawn Michaels was forced to forfeit the Intercontinental Championship due to an injury, with Dean Douglas being awarded the title, only to lose it to Razor Ramon just 15 minutes later. The rest of the card dragged, capped off by an extremely bad 5-minute draw between Yokozuna and Mabel. In Your House 12 only drew 90,000 buys. Fans knew something was off right away. Despite the show being named after him, Vader wasn't even on the card. Originally, the plan was for Vader to be a WWE champion heading into the event, which would have explained the title. Instead, he hasn't featured at all, not even in a dark match. Surprisingly, the pay-per-view itself wasn't bad. Too Cold Scorpio opened up against Al Snow in a fun match that exceeded expectations for two lower card gimmicks. Triple H and Mark Merrow delivered a solid Intercontinental bout, while the main event of Psycho Sid vs Bret Hart for the WWE Championship turned out to be one of Sid's better performances. Shawn Michaels vs Mankind and Steve Austin vs Goldust were saved only for the live crowd, making the show even stranger in hindsight. Next is In Your House 9, with just 90,000 buys. This 1996 show struggled right from the start, as there were no WWE Championship matches, or any title matches at all on the card. With the stakes that low, it's no surprise the byweight was one of the worst of this era. The main event featured Camp Cornette, Vader, Owen Hart and the British Bulldog against the People's Posse, Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson and Psycho Sid. It was a decent 6-man tag match, but it was very forgettable. The rest of the card suffered the same fate, with underwhelming matches that failed to stand out. This was especially disappointing, considering WWE's roster in 1996. ECW's December to Dismember 2006 also only got 90,000 buys. It was widely regarded as one of the worst WWE's pay-per-views of all times. This one and done WWECW exclusive show was doomed before it even began. Only 2 matches were announced ahead of time, and while December was a historically weak month for buys, the ECW brand was already showing major cracks. The main event, an Extreme Elimination Chamber match for the ECW Championship, was a booking disaster. Fan favourite Sabu was pulled and replaced by Hardcore Holly, while the crowd's favourites CM Punk and Rob Van Dam were eliminated early. That left Bobby Lashley and Big Show, 2 non-ECW names, fighting for the ECW belt, with Lashley eventually winning. The rest of the card was just as uninspired, with matches like Ariel and Kevin Thorne versus Kelly Kelly and Mike Knox perfectly summing up why this pay-per-view is remembered as a complete disaster. Next is In Your House 5 Season Beatings with 80,000 buys. This event is remembered almost entirely for its incredible main event, a WWE Championship classic between Bret Hart and the British Bulldog. The two delivered a match nearly on par with their legendary SummerSlam 1992 battle, and it single-handedly kept the show from being a total disaster. Unfortunately, the rest of the card dragged it down. Matches like The Undertaker vs Mabel in a casket match, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley vs Henry Godwinn in a hogpen match fell flat, while the undercard offered little else of note. Next is the Wrestling Classic, with just 47,000 buys. Though the buy rate was extremely low, this show holds a place in WWE history. It was the company's first ever pay-per-view, preceded only by WrestleMania 1 on closed circuit TV. Judging it purely by numbers completely misses the point, as it more so was about setting the stage for WWE's pay-per-view future rather than delivering top tier matches. The event featured a tournament that wasn't particularly strong, with many short bouts and several non-finishes, but it's packed with nostalgia. Hulk Hogan defended the WWE Championship against Roddy Piper, while the tournament final saw Junkyard Dog face Randy Savage, 2 iconic names that make this show memorable despite its rough spots. And the worst selling pay-per-view in WWE history is One Night Only, with just 20,000 buys. Despite being a fantastic show, One Night Only drew just 20,000 buys, mainly because it was a UK exclusive pay-per-view with very limited availability. Long before the WWE Network made these hidden gems accessible worldwide. The event kicked off with a lively match between Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Dude Love, with the Birmingham crowd keeping the energy high throughout. The double main event, Bret Hart vs The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels vs the British Bulldog, delivered top tier action, making it a must watch for fans of this era. The only sour note came when Shawn Michaels controversially won the European Championship from the hometown hero, leaving the crowd less than thrilled.